If I had to start my Substack from absolute zero today, knowing everything I know after building a best-selling publication in record time, I'd do quite a lot of things differently. This video is for creators who are just getting started or who are stuck and unsure about why their publications and audiences aren't growing. In the next few minutes, you'll get a clear roadmap, a few hard truths, and the shortcuts I wish I had known sooner. And at the end, I will share the #1 decision that has helped us gain our first 500 paid subscribers at Right Build Scale. I've been working with creators and writers for the past 5 years, and I know that most of you hate this cliche advice of you need a niche. Most people don't want to niche down because they are multi-passionate creators. They are curious and interested in a lot of different things. So putting themselves into a box, aka a niche, sounds very limiting. But if you want to grow a successful Substack publication, you need to define a clear promise for your reader. At the end of the day, then creators fail because they are writing about way too many different things at the same time. And the problem with that is that you cannot really be an expert in so many different things. I'm not going to trust you, and you are not going to be able to be really good at all those different things that you're talking about. So the more clear your promise is, the more likely I am going to actually pay attention and believe that you can help me through your work. And if you are an educator, a coach, a consultant, an expert in any shape or form, you do want to help your readers, your viewers, your subscribers, right? And that's only possible if they believe you and pay attention to your work. So if you're struggling with this whole idea of niching down, try to complete the following sentence. My publication helps you, ... At Right Build Scale, we help you write confidently, build your audience, and scale your income. That's the whole premise. When we started out, we thought that we are in the writing niche. Our target audience are writers. But the closer we look, the more we realize that's not necessarily true because we cannot help any kind of writer. We are serving a very specific kind of writer or creator who is using writing to achieve a very specific outcome. You are an educator, a coach, an expert, maybe a consultant, and you want to use your writing as the vehicle to communicate your message, share your value, share your knowledge and your expertise with the world. Through that, you want to build an audience, and eventually you might want to monetize your work in various different ways. And we can help you do that. What I cannot help you do is build a publication around poetry or help fiction writers. That's simply not the target audience that I am able and capable of helping, which is why I'm not creating content for these people. And by clearly calling out who we want to serve and who we can best serve, we are attracting more of the right people and fewer of the wrong people. And I want the same to be the case for you, because if you are attracting the wrong people, they will not pay attention to your work. They will not follow, they will not subscribe, and they will never ever pay for your work. The second thing I would do is I would focus on creating 2 different types of content in order to grow my audience as quickly as possible. I would publish content for visibility and for connection. And I would do that by publishing both Substack posts and notes, because your Substack notes will typically get attention. They will draw in readers who have never seen your work before, but they will not necessarily convert a one-time reader into a loyal subscriber or even fan of your work. You need a proper publication with long-form posts for that to happen. In short, your publication will grow if you consistently publish ideas people want to share and engage with. And that will most likely happen on Substack notes. And if your Substack notes get visibility, you can then convert through your Substack posts and the brilliant publication that you have built for your readers. But since scheduling your notes isn't possible as of now, I know that it can be really hard to actually be consistent with your notes. So here's what I usually recommend to my students and clients. If you are struggling to be consistent on Substack notes, make sure to build a routine that makes it stupidly easy for you to actually show up and publish every day. For example, every morning after brushing your teeth, you could take 3 minutes to copy and paste the Substack note and get it published. Of course, for this to work, you have to batch produce your notes. For example, Every Friday, every Sunday, whatever works for you, you batch create 7 to 10 notes that you will publish throughout the week. And then every day at the same time, you just go into your idea management system, you copy paste, and you post it on Substack. This is the easiest way to get it done. You could also just set a simple alarm on your phone. And for example, at 1 p.m. every day, you make sure that your note goes live, no matter if you are at home, on the bus, eating an ice cream, enjoying a vacation, whatever it is that you are doing at that time. The third idea is actually one of my favorite ones because I don't see anyone talking about this. If you are getting visibility, you see that people are seeing your notes, they're leaving some likes, some comments, but you're not really growing your subscriber base, you can bribe your readers. So what we typically do on email service providers like Kit or Beehive is we create freebies, right? And we offer those freebies in exchange for the email address of a potential subscriber. Now, this doesn't really work on Substack. You cannot set up a typical freebie. However, what you can do is you can announce that they will get a gift when they subscribe. And in the welcome email for your new subscribers, you can indeed give them this little gift for subscribing. This is a little bribe that you can use to your advantage that will basically just make it easier for someone to decide to give your work a shot. Some people might just download the freebie, your bribe, and then unsubscribe and be gone nevertheless. But some other people might subscribe for the freebie, but then enjoy your work so much that they actually stick around. And it is just making your life a little bit easier. It's just giving them this little nudge to take the step and hit the subscribe button. If we were to do this at Write Build Scale, for example, we could announce that all our new subscribers are getting free access to our Substack bestseller workbook if they just become a new subscriber. And then in your welcome email, you would be able to access this PDF. Which, by the way, you can find the link to this PDF in the description box below. Grab your download, it's free. You can templatize and edit the whole workbook so that you can actually build your own roadmap to building a best-selling Substack publication in record time. But your gift, your freebie can also be something entirely different. It could be a checklist, it could be a template, it could be a mini guide, it could be an ebook, it could be a collection of different resources that you have created before, it could be an audio meditation, it could be a meal plan, whatever you're writing about. Just make sure that it is something tangible that readers are really excited to get access to. The fourth thing I would do differently, again, is something I don't see a lot of people doing and leveraging. If I would start my publication from scratch, I would collaborate like crazy. Let's be honest, as creators, we are lonely people. We usually don't know a lot of other creator friends. Most of our family members are normal friends out there in the real world. They might not necessarily understand what we are doing on our little computers. And it is really intimidating to talk to someone who doesn't really understand what you're doing. If you connect with the right people, with people in your sphere, with people who get you, you don't only feel safe and comfortable and you feel understood, but they can also help you grow. And if I had to pick only one strategy to grow my audience on Substack from scratch, it would be collaboration, simply because you can collaborate with amazing people without having an audience, without having a reputation. All you have to do is care and make sure that you are providing value to your partners and their audience members. And the most amazing thing about collaborating on Substack is that they have so many native tools to make this easy for creators. You can write guest posts, you can feature someone in your notes, you can tag people in your notes and in your posts, you can go live together, you can even build an entire publication together with someone else. You can run cross promotions, you can restack their posts, you can do so many different things on so many different intensity levels. Connecting and collaborating with other writers has been the #1 driver of our growth at Write Build Scale right from the get-go, and it's the #1 thing that I would do over and over again, which actually we are doing. If you take a look at our publication, you will see lots of collaborations, lots of joint promotions that we're doing with brilliant other writers and creators in our space. And if you look at it, our entire publication is a collaboration because I'm not doing any of this alone. I have two amazing co-founders, Philip and Yari, who who are right by my side as we're building this audience and amazing library of content that is hopefully helping lots and lots of people grow their own audiences. And 3 questions that we constantly ask ourselves is actually, who can we feature, who can we collaborate with, and what kind of value can we bring to others if we learn something new, if we have tested a new strategy, or if we have run a new experiment, so that we can share our knowledge with as many people as possible while also lifting up our partners. So if this whole idea of collaborating is new to you, I would really recommend that you write down 5 names of creators in your space who you think would be potential collaboration partners for you. And then you can start to follow them, start to engage with their work, leave thoughtful comments. And when they reply to you, start a conversation via the DMs and try to find out if there is a way you can actually add value to each other. But always lead with generosity. This is not about exploiting other people's audiences. It is about being genuinely curious about how you can make the whole pie bigger for each other instead of looking at each other as competitors. And this actually ties in perfectly to the 5th idea that I want to share with you today, which is to start genuine conversations every single week. Because the most underrated growth hack is to just show up consistently and talk to people. I see so many new creators obsessing over going viral and growth hacking their way to 100, 1,000 paid subscribers. And the truth is that none of these hacks will work if you don't do the foundational work. When I started writing online in 2018, I replied to every single comment, and I did it for years. I paid close attention to what my audience was saying, whether they were liking or hating what I have published, and what particularly they liked or disliked. If you don't listen to your audience, you will never understand their needs, and hence you will not be irreplaceable for them because your content is a commodity and not a necessity. But when you pay attention, when you do listen, and when you really understand their desires and their pain points, you can create resources they will be dying to get access to. And that's what you ultimately want. You want them to find real, genuine value in your work. And the more questions you ask, the more conversations you have, the better you will understand your audience. You can literally start doing that by asking at least one simple question in your weekly newsletters or even in your Substack notes. Pay attention to the answers. Ask follow-up questions. Check out what these people are commenting on other people's profiles as well. The more you dig in, the better you will understand these people and the more you can eventually help them. And the truth is, you don't always need more followers or subscribers. Sometimes you just need stronger relationships with the people who are already paying attention to your work. All right, those are the 5 things I would do if I had to start my Substack from scratch. And now I want to share with you the one decision that helped us gain 500 paid subscribers in our first year on Substack. When we joined Substack in 2024, we immediately treated it as a growth and marketing channel. And this is the one big difference that I see between creators who actually do well on the platform and creators who are dabbling around and not achieving their goal. I see so many writers who are pretending that Substack is not social media and it's so different from all the other platforms. And while Substack is great, it's closer to social media than most people would like to admit. Because at the end of the day, Substack is shipping growth feature after growth feature, making it possible for creators like you and me to actually reach our audiences, grow our business, and make money. And if you do want to use it as a growth channel, you have to treat it as a business. And the truth is, you cannot just appear and disappear whenever you want. You cannot just write about all those dozens of topics that you're passionate about. You have to be focused. You have to know your audience, and you have to make sure that you're creating resources, articles, notes that they are actually going to find valuable. Because at the end of the day, if you want to grow a publication for readers, your work is much more about the reader than it is about you. And if you're anything like me, you probably want to achieve the best possible results as effectively and efficiently as possible, which means that you need solid systems and repeatable workflows that make it possible for you to grow your audience on autopilot and create the best possible content and resources for your audience. And I hope that the tips in this video help you do exactly that. Let me know in the comments which of these 5 tips you will be implementing first. Please make sure to hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and don't forget to grab your free Substack bestseller workbook in the description box below.